20 black actors you didn't know were related. What if the person sitting next to your favorite celebrity at the Grammys was actually their cousin? Hollywood looks enormous from the outside, but inside, the bloodlines run closer than anyone imagined. 20 names, 20 faces you recognize, and connections so unexpected that even the celebrities themselves didn't know until they were already famous. Some of these family ties span generations of musical genius. Others link a rap legend to an Ivy League activist. One connects a drag icon to a United States senator. Before this video ends, at least one of these revelations will make you stop and rewind. Don't scroll past without dropping your most shocking pick in the comments. And if family secrets this wild belong on your screen, Remembered Lives channel is exactly where you need to be. Subscribe now. Snoop Dogg, Brandy, and Ray J. Let's kick things off with one that sounds almost too wild to be true, but it is. Snoop Dogg, one of the most iconic rappers in hip-hop history, shares a family bloodline with two of the biggest names in 90s R&B, Brandy and Ray J. Snoop Dogg, born Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr. on October 20th, 1971 in Long Beach, California, built an empire over 3 decades. From his explosive debut on Dr. Dre's The Chronic in 1992 to becoming a cultural institution with hits like Gin and Juice and Drop It Like It's Hot, Snoop has sold over 35 million albums worldwide. He's not just a rapper, he's a media personality, actor, entrepreneur, and even a cooking show co-host alongside Martha Stewart. Few artists in history have maintained this level of relevance across so many generations. Brandy Norwood, born February 11, 1979 in Macomb, Mississippi, became a household name at just 15 years old. Her self-titled debut album in 1994 went quadruple platinum, and her role as Moesha on the hit UPN series cemented her as America's sweetheart. Known as the vocal Bible, Brandy's influence on artists like Ariana Grande, Beyonce, and H.E.R. is undeniable. She sold over 40 million records worldwide and even graced Broadway in Chicago. Ray J, born William Raymond Norwood Jr. on January 17, 1981, started as a child actor before pivoting to music, scoring his biggest hit with One Wish in 2005. He became a pop culture fixture through his reality TV appearances and entrepreneurial ventures. The connection runs through their mothers. Snoop's mother and Brandy and Ray J's mother are first cousins, making Snoop their first cousin once removed. The family originates from Macomb, Mississippi, which explains the shared southern roots beneath all the West Coast swagger. There is one nuance worth mentioning. While Snoop and Ray J have openly called each other cousins on camera, Brandy herself once said she wasn't entirely certain of the connection. Regardless, what we know for sure is that one family tree somehow produced the Dogfather, the vocal Bible, and one of R&B's most recognizable names, and that alone is extraordinary. Marsai Martin and Janelle Monae. This one started with a whisper, passed down through family gatherings, and ended with a jaw-dropping Golden Globes after-party reunion. Marsai Martin and Janelle Monae are cousins, and neither of them fully knew it until they were already both famous. Marsai Martin, born August 14, 2004 in Plano, Texas, became a child prodigy in Hollywood almost immediately after landing the role of Diane Johnson on ABC's Blackish in 2014. But Marsai didn't stop at acting. At just 14 years old, she became the youngest executive producer in Hollywood history when she pitched, produced, and starred in the 2019 Universal Pictures film Little, alongside Issa Rae and Regina Hall. That's not a title that comes with a participation trophy. That's history-making. She was featured on Time magazine's list of the 30 most influential teens, and her production company, Genius Entertainment, continues to develop projects that push boundaries for young Black creators. Janelle Monae Robinson, born December 1, 1985, in Kansas City, Kansas, is one of the most creatively fearless artists of her generation. A singer, rapper, actress, and visual artist, Monae spent years constructing an entire sci-fi universe through her music, starting with Metropolis in 2007, continuing through The Arch-Android and Electric Lady, and exploding into mainstream conversation with Dirty Computer in 2018, which earned her a Grammy nomination for Album of the Year. She's also a formidable actress, delivering acclaimed performances in Hidden Figures and Moonlight, both of which received Academy Award nominations for Best Picture. The discovery happened when Marsai and her mother attended a Golden Globes after-party and began naming family members from their small Kansas City, Kansas community. When the names landed on Monae's ears, she lit up. The Martin and Monae families share roots from that tight-knit Midwest community, and the blood connection became undeniable. Monae described them as cousins on cousins on cousins, suggesting the relationship goes back several generations. What makes this pairing genuinely remarkable is how both women arrived at creative greatness through completely different paths. One, a teenage business mogul in Hollywood, the other, an avant-garde artist who spent years building an independent lane before mainstream success caught up to her vision. Same DNA, two extraordinary expressions of Black excellence. Yara Shahidi and Nas. Here's a combination that makes you stop and think. One of the greatest lyricists in rap history, and one of the most intellectually driven young actresses in Hollywood. And their family. Yara Shahidi and Nas are cousins, and their bond goes far deeper than blood. Yara Shahidi, born February 10, 2000 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, grew up on television screens across America as Zoe Johnson in Blackish, 2014 to 2022, and its spin-off, Grownish, 2018 to 2024. But Yara is far more than a TV star. She's a Harvard University graduate, a political activist who has interviewed sitting politicians, spoken at national forums, and co-founded 18 by 18, a platform designed to mobilize young first-time voters. Her mother is of African American and Choctaw descent, and her father, Afshin Shahidi, is Iranian, and was the principal photographer for the late Prince, who personally DM'd Yara to express admiration for her Blackish character. Nasir bin Olu Dara Jones, born September 14, 1973 in Brooklyn, New York, changed hip-hop forever when he released Illmatic in 1994 at the age of 20. Widely considered the greatest debut album in rap history, Illmatic distilled life in Queensbridge, New York into poetry so vivid it reads like literature. Nas followed it with It Was Written, Stillmatic, God's Son, and the Grammy-winning King's Disease series. He is also a Harvard-affiliated entrepreneur, having announced a fellowship at the institution focused on hip-hop and education. The family link runs through Yara's mother, Cari Shahidi, who is Nas's first cousin, making Yara and Nas second cousins. Yara was even the flower girl at Nas's wedding to Khalees in 2005. She has spoken openly about how Nas inspired her Harvard journey. It was at a Harvard fellowship launch for graduate students studying hip-hop that she first stepped onto campus, and something clicked. Two cousins. One built an empire with a microphone. The other is building one with a degree and a platform. The family clearly doesn't do anything halfway. Viola Davis and Mike Colter. Two powerhouse actors, born in the same tiny community in South Carolina, who somehow never crossed paths until they were both already celebrated names in Hollywood. The story of Viola Davis and Mike Colter discovering each other is almost as dramatic as anything either of them has ever performed on screen. Viola Davis, born August 11, 1965 in St. Matthews, South Carolina, is the only Black actress in history to achieve the EGOT, winning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award. Her Oscar came for Fences in 2016 alongside Denzel Washington. Her Emmy was for How to Get Away with Murder, where she played the ferociously complex Annalise Keating. Her Tony wins came from King Hedley II and Fences on Broadway. She grew up in abject poverty in Central Falls, Rhode Island, and has spoken powerfully about how those early experiences shaped her artistic drive. Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in the world twice, in 2012 and 2017. Mike Colter, born August 26, 1976, in Columbia, South Carolina, earned widespread recognition as Luke Cage in the Marvel Netflix series Luke Cage and the Defenders. The role of Harlem's bulletproof hero demanded a physicality and quiet authority that Colter delivered brilliantly. He holds a bachelor's degree from the University of South Carolina and an MFA from Rutgers University, credentials that give his performances a depth and discipline rarely seen in the action genre. He also starred in the CBS supernatural thriller Evil from 2019 onward. The two share a South Carolina family connection through the Logan bloodline. Colter's paternal grandmother and Davis's maternal grandfather were siblings, making them second cousins. Despite growing up in the same ancestral community, they didn't officially meet until April 2019, when they sat down for coffee. Colter revealed the moment on The Talk, saying their families had spoken proudly of both of them at reunions for years before they finally connected. Same roots, same talent. Two completely different roads to the top. And an April afternoon coffee that was decades overdue. Fantasia and KCI and JoJo. Gospel-soaked voices, North Carolina roots, and a bloodline that seems genetically engineered for soul music. The connection between Fantasia Barrino and brothers KCI and JoJo Haley is one of the most musically significant family ties on this entire list. Fantasia Monique Barrino, born June 30th, 1984, in High Point, North Carolina, stepped onto the American Idol stage in Season 3 and simply took over. Her raw, raspy, church-raised voice won her the title in 2004, but what set her apart wasn't just the competition victory. It was the way she sang like her life depended on it, because in many ways, it did. Fantasia grew up in poverty, struggled with literacy, and overcame personal hardships that would have broken many. Instead, she channeled all of it into sound. Her debut single, I Believe, debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, the first Idol winner to achieve that feat. She went on to star as Celie in the Broadway production of The Color Purple, earning a Tony Award nomination, and later reprised the role in the 2023 film adaptation alongside Taraji P. Henson, earning a Golden Globe nomination. Cedric KCI Haley, born September 2nd, 1969, and Joel JoJo Haley, born June 10th, 1971, both hail from Charlotte, North Carolina. Before forming Casey and JoJo, the brothers were part of Jodeci, the groundbreaking R&B quartet that transformed the genre in the early 1990s with albums like Forever My Lady and Diary of a Mad Band. Jodeci brought a raw, street-level emotion to R&B that hadn't existed before them. When KCI and JoJo stepped out as a duo, they gave the world All My Life in 1998, a song that spent 15 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the best-selling singles of the entire decade. The Barrino and Haley families are connected through their shared North Carolina roots and deep gospel church traditions. That Southern Black church upbringing, where music isn't entertainment, but testimony, echoes through every note all three of them have ever sung. It's not a coincidence. It's inheritance. Niecy Nash and Sterling K. Brown. When Niecy Nash casually dropped this revelation in January 2024, social media genuinely erupted. Two of the most respected dramatic actors working in television today, and their cousins. Nobody saw it coming. And that's exactly what made it so perfect. Carol Denise Nash, known professionally as Niecy Nash, was born February 23, 1970, in Compton, California. She built her career on an ability to shift between sharp comedy and devastating drama with frightening ease. Audiences first fell in love with her as the hilariously confident Deputy Renisha Williams on Reno 911. But Niecy proved her dramatic range was just as formidable in Ava DuVernay's When They See Us, where her portrayal of Dolores Wise, a mother watching her son be wrongly convicted, earned her an Emmy nomination that had critics calling it one of the finest performances of the year. She later received Emmy nominations for Claws and Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, the latter earning her a Screen Actors Guild Award nomination for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Limited Series. Sterling Kelby Brown, born April 5, 1976, in St. Louis, Missouri, became a household name playing Randall Pearson on NBC's This Is Us. A role so layered, so emotionally complex, that it earned him an Emmy Award in 2017, making him the first black man to win Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series in 19 years. The win was historic and long overdue. He had previously won an Emmy for his portrayal of Christopher Darden in The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story. He also appeared in Black Panther as M'Baku's challenger, Njobu, and continues to take on projects that demand the full weight of his considerable talent. When Niecy made the announcement, fans spent days processing it. The shared quality both actors possess, that ability to make audiences feel seen, suddenly made complete sense. Some things really do run in the blood. Stacey Dash and Damon Dash. Same last name, completely different worlds, but absolutely the same family tree. Stacey Dash and Damon Dash are cousins who each dominated their respective corners of pop culture during the same decade without ever really overlapping publicly. Stacey Loretta Dash, born January 20th, 1966, in the Bronx, New York, became one of the defining faces of 1990s Hollywood. Her role as the effortlessly fashionable Dionne Davenport in Amy Heckerling's 1995 classic Clueless introduced her to an entire generation of moviegoers, and she reprised the role in the subsequent TV series that ran until 1999. Before Clueless, Stacey had been working steadily since the mid-1980s, appearing in everything from music videos to television films. Her beauty and screen presence made her a constant fixture on magazine covers throughout the 90s, and she remains a beloved icon of that era's aesthetic. In more recent years, she became known for her political commentary, which generated significant public debate and moved her public image in a very different direction from her Hollywood roots. Damon Anthony Dash, born May 3, 1971, also in Harlem, New York, is one of the most significant figures in the business architecture of hip-hop. He co-founded Rockefeller Records in 1995 alongside Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs Burke, a label that didn't just launch careers, but fundamentally changed how hip-hop artists thought about ownership and business. Under the Rockefeller umbrella, Kanye West released The College Dropout, one of the most critically acclaimed debut albums in rap history. Dame also built Rocawear into a clothing empire before eventually exiting the company. His approach to entertainment entrepreneurship, aggressive, brand-conscious, and unapologetically independent, influenced an entire generation of artists who followed. The Dash cousins represent a fascinating cultural portrait of Black excellence across the 90s and 2000s. One owning the screen, the other reshaping the music industry's financial landscape, both bearing the same name. Martin Lawrence and Christopher Play Martin. Two of the most naturally gifted comedic performers of their generation, and it turns out, the funny runs in the family. Martin Lawrence and Christopher Play Martin share a family bond that makes their overlapping careers in the golden era of Black comedy feel like something more than coincidence. Martin Fitzgerald Lawrence, born April 16, 1965 in Frankfurt, West Germany, grew up in Landover, Maryland, and found his way to stand-up comedy in the late 1980s after a stint on Star Search. His self-titled sitcom Martin, which ran on Fox from 1992 to 1997, became a cultural cornerstone, defining Black sitcom television for an entire generation with sharp writing, unforgettable recurring characters, and Martin's signature physical, high-energy comedic style. The show is still quoted, referenced, and re-watched today across every streaming platform. He then transitioned seamlessly into film, starring opposite Will Smith in the Bad Boys franchise, which, as of Bad Boys Ride or Die in 2024, has grossed over $1 billion globally. His performances in Big Mama's House and Blue Streak further cemented his status as one of the biggest comedic box office draws of his era. Christopher Play Martin, Born July 10, 1962 in Queens, New York, rose to fame as one half of the hip-hop duo Kid and Play, alongside Christopher "Kid" Reed. Their infectious energy, signature flat-top haircuts, and the iconic Running Man dance made them cultural icons of the late 1980s and early 1990s. Their house party film franchise, beginning with the beloved 1990 original, became a defining artifact of Black youth culture and launched a series that ran across multiple sequels. Notably, Martin Lawrence himself appeared in House Party, which, in retrospect, takes on an entirely new layer of meaning given the family connection between the two men. Same comedic instincts, same era, same bloodline. And they literally shared a movie set, without the world knowing how close they truly were. Bianca, Lawson, and Beyonce. This one genuinely surprises people every single time, and understandably so, because Bianca Lawson and Beyonce Knowles Carter are not biological relatives, but they are family, bound together through one of Hollywood's most quietly fascinating blended family stories. Bianca Jasmine Lawson, born March 20th, 1979 in Los Angeles, California, is one of the most quietly enduring actresses in the business. She has been working consistently since the early 1990s, appearing in Saved by the Bell, The New Class, The Steve Harvey Show, Dawson's Creek, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Pretty Little Liars, Queen Sugar, and dozens more. What makes Bianca extraordinary is a quality that defies easy explanation. She played teenagers convincingly well into her 30s and 40s, and has managed to maintain a career spanning 4 decades without ever quite becoming a household name, yet never disappearing either. She is a quiet institution. Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter, born September 4th, 1981 in Houston, Texas, needs no lengthy introduction. As a member of Destiny's Child and then as a solo artist, she has sold over 200 million records worldwide, won 32 Grammy Awards, the most of any artist in Grammy history, and redefined what it means to be a Black female entertainer on the global stage. Lemonade, Renaissance, and Cowboy Carter are not just albums. They are cultural events that shift conversations about identity, race, art, and womanhood every time they arrive. The Connection. Bianca's mother, Denise Gordy, niece of Motown founder Berry Gordy, was previously married to actor Richard Lawson. Richard Lawson later married Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mother, in 2015, though the two divorced in 2018. During those years, Bianca and Beyoncé were officially stepsisters. Hollywood really is a small town. RuPaul and Cory Booker. This is the pairing that nobody's family reunion was prepared for. And yet, when you hear it, something about it makes perfect, beautiful sense. RuPaul Charles and Senator Cory Booker are cousins, confirmed by DNA through the PBS series Finding Your Roots. RuPaul Andre Charles, born November 17, 1960 in San Diego, California, is the most commercially successful drag performer in history. He launched his entertainment career in Atlanta's underground club scene in the 1980s, released the 1993 dance anthem Supermodel, You Better Work, and has spent the decades since building an empire. RuPaul's Drag Race, which premiered on Logo TV in 2009 and later moved to VH1 and MTV, has won 24 Primetime Emmy Awards, making it one of the most Emmy-decorated reality competition shows in television history. Through the show, RuPaul has introduced drag culture to mainstream global audiences and launched the careers of hundreds of performers. His influence on fashion, language, and LGBTQ+ visibility is immeasurable. Cory Anthony Booker, born April 27, 1969, in Washington, D.C., and raised in Harrington Park, New Jersey, has lived a life defined by academic excellence and public service. He was a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford University, played tight end at Stanford University on a football scholarship, earned his law degree from Yale, served as the transformative mayor of Newark, New Jersey from 2006 to 2013, and has served as a United States Senator from New Jersey since 2013. He ran for the Democratic presidential nomination in the 2020 cycle and has been one of the most prominent progressive voices on criminal justice reform, food policy, and economic inequality. When Finding Your Roots host Dr. Henry Louis Gates Jr. revealed the connection, RuPaul said of Booker, "He reminds me of my cousin Eula. Activism, charisma, and the audacity to be fully themselves in public. It runs in the family." Janet Jackson and Stevie Wonder. When Janet Jackson quietly dropped this during a 2024 BBC Radio 2 interview with Scott Mills, it sent the internet into a full spiral. And rightfully so. The idea that two of the most gifted musicians in American history share a family bloodline feels almost too cinematic to be real. But it is. Janet Demita Jo Jackson, born May 16, 1966 in Gary, Indiana, grew up in the shadow of the most famous musical family in pop history, and then stepped out of that shadow so dramatically that she built a legacy entirely her own. Her 1986 album, Control, was a declaration of artistic and personal independence that sold 10 million copies worldwide and rewrote the playbook for female pop artists. Rhythm Nation 1814 in 1989 became one of the only albums in history to produce 7 top 5 singles. She has sold over 100 million records worldwide across a career spanning 5 decades, and her choreography, production choices, and storytelling set templates that artists are still borrowing today. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2019. Steveland Hardaway Morris, known to the entire world as Stevie Wonder, was born May 13, 1950 in Saginaw, Michigan. He signed with Motown at 11 years old, released his first hit at 12, and spent the 1970s producing a run of albums: Talking Book, Inner Visions, Fulfillingness's First Finale, Songs in the Key of Life, that many consider the greatest sustained creative output in popular music history. He has won 25 Grammy Awards, holds a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, and his songs have been covered by virtually every major artist in every genre imaginable. The connection is through Janet's mother, Katherine Jackson. Stevie is her third cousin once removed on that side. Janet has said she first publicly acknowledged the connection at the 2008 NAACP Image Awards, saying, "It is with great respect and love that I induct my cousin, Stevie Wonder." Most people assumed she meant it figuratively. She did not. Pharrell Williams and Timbaland. Two visionaries who collectively shaped the sound of an entire decade, who grew up in the same state, went to school together, formed a group together, and happened to share family blood. The Pharrell Williams and Timbaland connection is one of hip-hop's most quietly significant family stories. Pharrell Lancillo Williams, born April 5, 1973 in Virginia Beach, Virginia, is one of the most prolific and transformative music producers in history. As one half of the Neptunes alongside Chad Hugo, he produced hits for Jay-Z, Beyonce, Britney Spears, Nelly, Snoop Dogg, and dozens more. At one point in 2003, Neptune's productions accounted for approximately 43% of songs on US radio. His band, NERD, pushed the boundaries of genre fusion, and his 2013 solo hit, Happy, became one of the best-selling singles of all time, reaching #1 in 24 countries. In 2023, he was named creative director of Louis Vuitton menswear following the passing of Virgil Abloh, one of the most prestigious positions in global fashion. Timothy Zachary Mosley, born March 10, 1972 in Norfolk, Virginia, known professionally as Timbaland, built one of the most distinctive sonic signatures in modern music. His stuttering kick drum style, his use of unusual vocal samples and percussive textures, and his willingness to experiment made productions for Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, Jay-Z, and Justin Timberlake feel unlike anything else on radio. Songs like Are You That Somebody, Get Your Freak On, Cry Me a River, and Apologize are instantly recognizable within 1 or 2 bars. He has won 4 Grammy Awards from 22 nominations. The two grew up together in Virginia Beach, were both members of the high school production group SBI, Surrounded by Idiots, and the cousin connection runs through their grandmother's side of the family. Timbaland confirmed it publicly on the Cruise Show in 2016. Virginia Beach's contribution to global music culture through these two alone is staggering. Ludacris and Richard Pryor. A fifth, sixth, or seventh cousin connection, Ludacris himself wasn't entirely sure of the exact degree, but even a distant branch of this particular family tree is worth marveling at. Two performers who built careers on fearless honesty, quick wit, and refusing to let any room contain them. Ludacris and the late, legendary Richard Pryor. Christopher Brian Bridges, born September 11, 1977 in Champaign, Illinois, and raised partly in Atlanta, Georgia, became one of the defining voices of early 2000s hip-hop under the name Ludacris. His rapid-fire delivery, his gift for wordplay, and his ability to be simultaneously outrageous and technically brilliant gave us era-defining albums like Word of Mouth, 2001, and Chicken and Beer, 2003, both of which went multi-platinum. Singles like Stand Up, Get Back, and Moneymaker dominated radio for years. He also built a formidable acting career, joining the Fast and Furious franchise as Tej Parker, beginning with Too Fast, Too Furious in 2003, a franchise that has now grossed over $7 billion globally. In 2007, he won a Grammy for Best Rap Album for Release Therapy. Richard Franklin Lennox Thomas Pryor, born December 1, 1940 in Peoria, Illinois, is widely regarded as the greatest stand-up comedian who ever lived. His 1979 concert film, Richard Pryor Live in Concert, is considered the gold standard of the form. He revolutionized comedy by stripping away performance artifice and replacing it with radical personal honesty about race in America, about addiction, about poverty, about pain. His influence extends to Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and virtually every black comedian who followed. He won 5 Grammy Awards for his comedy albums and a special Emmy Award. Ludacris revealed the connection in 2015, calling Pryor like my 5th, 6th, or 7th cousin. He never met him. Pryor passed away in December 2005, but has spoken warmly about being a devoted fan of his work. The bloodline of audacity goes deep. Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem. This one isn't a secret. Hip-hop fans have known about it for years, especially after the music the two made together. But what makes Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem's relationship so compelling is not just the blood connection, but the artistic dynamic it has produced. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, born June 17, 1987 in Compton, California, is the defining rapper of his generation. His albums Good Kid, Mad City, 2012, To Pimp a Butterfly, 2015, Damn, 2017, and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, 2022, represent one of the most consistent and artistically ambitious discographies in music history. In 2018, Damn made him the first non-classical, non-jazz artist to win the Pulitzer Prize for Music, a genuinely historic moment for hip-hop as an art form. He has won 17 Grammy Awards and delivered what many consider the most significant diss track in rap history with Not Like Us in 2024, which debuted at #1 and went on to earn Grammy nominations. He headlined Super Bowl 59 in 2025. Hakeem Jamal Carter Jr., known as Baby Keem, was born October 22, 2000, in Carson, California, and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. He began producing and recording music as a teenager, developing a style deliberately distinct from his famous older cousin, more chaotic, more experimental, with unconventional flows and production choices that defy easy categorization. His 2021 debut album, The Melodic Blue, debuted at #5 on the Billboard 200. His Grammy Award-winning collaboration with Kendrick, Family Ties, released in 2021, gave fans a direct look at their chemistry and their generational conversation in real time. Kendrick has been supportive but intentional about giving his younger cousin space to develop his own artistic identity. The result is 2 distinct voices from the same bloodline, each pushing hip-hop forward in different directions. Lenny Kravitz and Al Roker. No list of unexpected celebrity family connections would be complete without this one, because nothing about it makes immediate sense on the surface, and yet the moment you hear it, you can't unhear it. Lenny Kravitz and Al Roker are cousins, connected through one of television history's most beloved surnames. Leonard Albert Kravitz, born May 26, 1964 in Manhattan, New York, is one of the last true rock stars, a multi-instrumentalist, singer, songwriter, and producer who has personally played nearly every instrument on every album he has ever recorded. Since his 1989 debut, Let Love Rule, he has released a string of albums blending rock, soul, funk, R&B, and blues in a way that feels both deeply nostalgic and completely alive. He has won the Grammy Award for Best Male Rock Vocal Performance 4 consecutive years, 1999 to 2002, a record that still stands. Songs like Are You Gonna Go My Way, Fly Away, and Again have become standards. As an actor, he brought unexpected depth to roles in Precious, 2009, The Hunger Games series, and Lee Daniels' The Butler, 2013. Albert Lincoln Roker Jr., born August 20, 1954, in Queens, New York, has been America's most trusted weatherman for nearly 3 decades as a co-anchor and weathercaster on NBC's Today Show. He joined the show in 1996 and has become far more than a meteorologist. He's a 3-time Daytime Emmy Award winner, a best-selling author, and a beloved public figure known for his warmth, humor, and resilience through significant personal health challenges. The connection runs through Kravitz's mother, actress Roxy Roker, best known for The Jeffersons, whose grandfather and Al Roker's grandfather were cousins, making Lenny and Al second cousins once removed. They discovered and publicly confirmed the connection on the Today Show in 2011 and have been warmly calling each other cuz ever since. Nia Long and Sommore. 2 women who built legendary careers in entertainment, largely without the public knowing they came from the same father. Nia Long and Sommore are half-sisters, same dad, different mothers, different upbringings, and 2 completely distinct paths to stardom. Nitara Carlin Long, born October 30th, 1970 in Brooklyn, New York, became one of the defining faces of Black cinema in the 1990s and 2000s. Her filmography reads like a syllabus for Black cultural studies of that era. Boys in the Hood, 1991. Friday, 1995. Love Jones, 1997. Soul Food, 1997. The Best Man, 1999, and its sequels, and Big Mama's House, 2000. She brought grace, intelligence, and genuine emotional depth to every role she inhabited, and her chemistry with co-stars became the stuff of cultural legend. On television, she appeared memorably on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Third Watch. More recently, she took on the lead role in Fatal Affair and the Netflix series Passing. Lori Ann Rambo, born May 15, 1966 in Somerville, New Jersey, is better known by her stage name Sommore, and she is one of the most influential stand-up comedians in American history. She was the first woman ever to host BET's Comic View, a groundbreaking achievement that opened doors for female comedians in a genre that had historically been extraordinarily male-dominated. Her style is bold, glamorous, and uncompromising. She frequently performs in sequined gowns, delivering razor-sharp observations about relationships, men, and womanhood with the confidence of someone who knows exactly what she's worth. Both women share the same father, Dotry Doc Long, a celebrated poet from Atlanta, Georgia, who passed away in recent years. They were raised separately and have acknowledged their relationship publicly on multiple occasions, though the sisterhood has always been defined more by mutual respect than by closeness. Different mothers, different worlds, but unmistakably the same root. Debbie Allen and Phylicia Rashad. Unlike most connections on this list, this one is not a secret, and never has been, because both sisters have been so extraordinarily visible in American entertainment for so long that it would have been nearly impossible to keep quiet. Debbie Allen and Phylicia Rashad are full sisters, raised in the same Houston household by a family that breathed art and literature. Deborah K. Allen, born January 16, 1950 in Houston, Texas, is a performer, choreographer, director, and producer who has done virtually everything the entertainment industry allows a person to do, and done most of it better than almost anyone else. She is best known to mainstream audiences for her role as the fiercely demanding dance teacher Lydia Grant in the television series Fame, 1982 to 1987. A role for which she was nominated for Emmy and Golden Globe Awards. Her Emmy wins came for her choreography on the show. She has directed episodes of A Different World, Grey's Anatomy, and dozens of other series, and has served as a producer on Grey's Anatomy for over 20 seasons. She also founded the Debbie Allen Dance Academy in Los Angeles, which has trained hundreds of young performers and become one of the most respected dance institutions in the country. Phylicia Ayers Allen Rashad, born June 19, 1948, also in Houston, Texas, became a cultural institution through her portrayal of Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show from 1984 to 1992. Claire Huxtable, brilliant, elegant, funny, deeply loving, represented a vision of Black womanhood on mainstream television that had rarely existed before and resonated with millions. In 2004, Rashad made history as the first Black actress to win the Tony Award for Best Actress in a Play, for her role in A Raisin in the Sun on Broadway. Their mother, Vivian Ayers Allen, was a Pulitzer Prize-nominated poet. With a mother like that, the only surprise would be if the daughters had turned out any differently. Whitney Houston and Dionne Warwick. Two of the most technically gifted vocalists the 20th century ever produced, and they shared not just a bloodline, but a musical matriarch in Cissy Houston, one of the greatest gospel voices America has ever known. The story of Whitney Houston and Dionne Warwick is a story about what happens when extraordinary talent repeats itself across generations. Whitney Elizabeth Houston, born August 9, 1963, in Newark, New Jersey, possessed a voice that music historians continue to struggle to fully describe. Her 1985 self-titled debut album produced 3 #1 singles and sold over 25 million copies worldwide. She followed it with Whitney, 1987, which made her the first female artist to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Her recording of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You for the Bodyguard soundtrack in 1992 remains one of the best-selling singles of all time. In total, Whitney sold over 200 million records worldwide, won 6 Grammy Awards, 30 Billboard Music Awards, and 22 American Music Awards. Her passing on February 11, 2012, at the age of 48, was a loss that reverberated across the entire world. Marie Dionne Warwick, born December 12, 1940 in East Orange, New Jersey, known professionally as Dionne Warwick, built one of the most elegant and enduring careers in pop music history. Her collaborations with songwriters Burt Bacharach and Hal David in the 1960s produced classics like Walk On By, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, and There's Always Something There to Remind Me. She has won 5 Grammy Awards, was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, and has sold over 100 million records across a career spanning more than 6 decades and counting. The connection. Cissy Houston, Whitney's mother, is Dionne's aunt, making Whitney and Dionne first cousins once removed. Dionne has spoken lovingly about Whitney since her passing, calling her loss immeasurable. The Houston-Warwick family tree may be the single most vocally gifted bloodline in American music history. Saweetie and Gabrielle Union. The final entry on this list brings together the new generation and the established guard of Black women in entertainment. And the reveal came not from a genealogy show or a leaked document, but from a casual, delighted tweet that Gabrielle Union posted in 2018 that the internet promptly never forgot. Diamante Cuiava. Valentine Harper, born July 2, 1993, in Santa Clara, California, performs under the name Saweetie. She exploded onto the music scene in 2017 with the viral hit Icy Girl, which she recorded in a dorm room at the University of Southern California, where she was simultaneously completing a communications degree. The song racked up tens of millions of streams and established her confident, luxury-flexing, unapologetically glamorous brand before the industry even fully had time to process it. She followed up with My Type in 2019, which peaked at number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became a certified platinum anthem. Her mixtape, High Maintenance, and later projects demonstrated genuine development as an artist and songwriter. She has been open about her mixed heritage. Her grandfather is Black and her grandmother is Filipino, and has embraced that complexity as central to her public identity. Gabrielle Monique Union, born October 29, 1972, in Omaha, Nebraska, has been a fixture of Black cinema since Bring It On, 2000, and Bad Boys 2, 2003. Her television role in Being Mary Jane, 2013 to 2019, earned her widespread critical acclaim for portraying a successful Black woman navigating career ambition and personal chaos with rare honesty. She has also been a vocal advocate for sexual assault survivors, LGBTQ+ rights, and maternal health, writing candidly about her fertility journey in her best-selling memoir, We're Going to Need More Wine, 2017. The connection? Saweetie's father and Gabrielle are first cousins. Saweetie's paternal grandmother is Gabrielle's Aunt Joanne Glass, who was so memorable a character that Gabrielle based the lead in her film Deliver Us from Eva on her. Same family, completely different frequencies, and both of them absolutely unforgettable. 20 pairs. 20 bloodlines hiding in plain sight behind award show smiles and red carpet waves. But here's the question nobody's asking out loud. If talent truly runs in families, does that mean these stars were always destined for greatness? Or did they simply push each other forward without realizing it? Is Kendrick Lamar sharper because baby Keem is watching? Did Whitney's voice carry Dion's DNA inside every note? We'll let you decide. Drop your most unbelievable pairing in the comments below and tell us, which connection genuinely shocked you, and which one do you think we got wrong? Remembered Lives channel lives for exactly these conversations. Like, share, and make sure your friends see number 11, because that one still doesn't feel real.